Welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us this Sunday morning. Up next, we are talking about the Texas Workforce Solutions and all the amazing things and services that they have available for you. Joining us now, we have Manuel Morales, who's the communication specialist, and we have Larissa Luna. Thank you both so much for coming in this morning.
We're excited to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming in. So before we get started, and we have a lot to talk about, a lot of great advice for folks at home and things for them to kind of jot down and take note of. But let's start a little bit about what Texas Workforce Solutions does.
Yeah, I think our viewers who are tuning in today have a general idea of what we do at Workforce Solutions, Cameron. The truth is that we help people find jobs.
Yes.
But we like to think that we do a little bit more than just that. So today I kind of wanted to touch upon our center workshops because we feel that anybody who walks in can really benefit from it.
Wonderful. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the biggest things that I really wanted to cover is our job readiness workshop. We understand that getting a job can be very difficult, and I think the reason it's so difficult is because there's a lot of components that go into the job search. For example, you have to have a resume that speaks to you, have a resume that's updated and sounds professional, but on the other side of that, you have to go into an interview and do well in an interview and say the right things and make sure you don't say the wrong thing. And so all that can be a little overwhelming for the job seeker, but the good news is that us at Workforce Solutions, Cameron, we offer a job readiness workshop that is there to solve any concerns, any issues, any fear, and truly instill some confidence in the job seeker to go into an interview, do well, and land the job.
Most definitely. I think that is a lot of the most nerve-wracking things, is that you're anticipating what's going to happen. How do I prepare? How do I set off on the right foot? You know, so a lot of that can be really scary, and so I think it's great that you guys offer that.
And not only that, but we want to, just because you get a job, you know, we still want to do more. And one of the ways we do so is in our soft skills workshop, because it's one thing to get a job, but it's another thing to do well in the job and to retain the job.
Yes.
And so that's kind of where our soft skills workshop comes into play. You know, we teach our now employees how to become great professionals, how to speak professionally. You know, kind of how we sell it is we make the employee become the best employee that they can be. So we offer a lot of great things, and we want our viewers to know that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's absolutely beneficial for a lot of people, because, you know, it's like there's no handbook on how to do the best, be the best employee, or how do I make myself better. So I think it's great that you guys have that.
Yeah, and I'm just part of one department.
Yes.
You know, I'm part of the community engagement and communications team. We have so many amazing departments, and we help anybody, even people with disabilities. And so I'm so glad that VR is here, because the work that they do is incredible.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about it.
Yes, so Vocational Rehab is a part of Texas Workforce Solutions, so we're under that umbrella. But Vocational Rehab, so our program, we help people with disabilities obtain employment, retain employment, so they may be currently working, or also advance in employment. But that's one component. That's also one customer is the job seekers coming in, but also the customers that are businesses. We wouldn't be able to do our job without our businesses and the relationships and fostering partnerships with businesses. So part of what VR also does with businesses is help their current employees that may encounter or have acquired a disability and work through them with accommodation needs. Also retaining employees, recruitment.
Definitely. And for people that have come in and kind of worked with you all, what has been like the most common things that they've told you, like, oh, I wasn't sure that I could find help for me, or I could find a job that would fit my needs? So have they come in kind of asking these questions?
Yes, and so we, from the business services standpoint, we try to debunk a lot of the myths as far as hiring people with disabilities, definitely. And so we have a business relations coordinator that also speaks on and educates employers and what that looks like, hiring for someone with a disability. Absolutely.
Wonderful. And so if someone were to come in and they were to kind of reach out to you and say, hey, you know, maybe I haven't worked in a while, or maybe I'm in between jobs and I do have a disability, kind of what is the step and process for them?
Absolutely. So they would be coming in and starting off an application. So we have master level counselors that kind of go through the assessments, look at their disability, look at medical records, what are their strengths, what are some maybe areas that we wouldn't be focusing on, but we really want to place them in employment that they're going to be successful. And so we'll do assessments that will best suit them for that type of employment goal. What's really interesting, so a lot of people don't know, but Vocational Rehab has been around for quite some time.
Really? Yeah.
Come June, we are going to be hitting 100 years of vocational rehabilitation. So in Texas, we are part of the workforce system, but across nationally, it looks a little bit different. But vocational rehabilitation has been around for quite some time, and it's, without going into the history of it, it started actually when veterans were coming out of war. And so at that time, they were just focusing on folks with physical disabilities. So we've expanded that, and so we're now servicing individuals with mental health, maybe that have anxiety, depression, so not just physical disabilities, learning disabilities as well. And so you think of a disability and maybe there could be some barriers to obtaining employment. So we really want to let the viewers know that if they've had a disability and maybe that's impacted them from keeping a job or advancing in employment, we're definitely the agency to work with.
Wonderful. And I think it's so important that you mentioned that, you know, a lot of people might not know that you guys actually exist and kind of the help and the services that you guys offer to a lot of people. And has it been something that you guys have kind of worked for? I know you guys have been around for 100 years, but maybe in the last most few years, where I know that a lot of the time we're now having the conversation of mental health. It's getting a lot bigger, and I think the conversation is important. So have you guys noticed that it's increased and you guys have seen a lot more people coming in to get help?
Absolutely, absolutely. For mental health, and I would say also, I think a lot of disability that's common is autism,
right?
Because that's kind of being introduced a lot. So we definitely address that. We kind of work through individuals through their assessments, and again, placing them in an appropriate job.
Of course. And is this then where they would come to you, kind of work with you, and then would you guys kind of be collaborative as far as preparing them then for the next steps in that way?
Yeah, we kind of work together really well, just being able to use kind of our courses and kind of our expertise and being able to, you know, serve that to that population. You know, we serve everybody, and that's what we want our viewers to know.
Most definitely.
Yes, and I was going to add to that, so serving everybody. So this is not just adult population, but as young as 16-year-olds. So we have counselors that are going up to the high schools and preparing them for post-secondary education or training opportunities.
That's great. And so where can people go and get more information? Or maybe is it just better if they go ahead and stop in, and that way they can kind of have a face-to-face conversation with you all?
So with Vocational Rehabilitation, because we have several offices throughout the valley, so we have offices not only in Cameron and Brownsville location, Harlingen as well, but Weslaco, McAllen. So the best for VR is to visit our website.
Okay.
And then on there they can put in their zip code and they'll find the nearest location.
Most definitely. And that website is right there on the screen for you right now. And then again, there is a phone number if you'd like to get some information, or you just have a question that you guys would like to ask. And this will give you a better idea of the nearest location to you, and that way it makes it the most convenient and easiest way for you guys to get in. And so that's something that I'm noticing, is that you guys really just try to make it easy and accessible for a lot of people. The help is there. You just have to go out and reach out for it, I think.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so I think it's really great what you guys are doing, and you are making a difference in a lot of people's lives as far as, you know, when it comes to finding the right fit for them, because we all know that we want to do something, we want to find a job, but it's always hard about figuring out, how do I do that? I know what I want to do, but how do I get there? So I think it's great. The collaborative process that you guys have here, the services that Texas Workforce Solutions offers, so I think it's really great what you all are doing. I want to thank you both so much for coming in this morning and sitting down and chatting with us and offering this advice, and hopefully people at home really are utilizing the services that you guys have to offer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for joining us this Sunday morning. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Sunday.